Morning, everybody. Glenn's asked me to do just a few minutes talking about mental and physical well-being during this time, and realising that we've now been in lockdown for about 8 weeks, and it's pretty tough, and it feels like it's getting harder sometimes. And I think being in isolation so much sometimes can make us think that we're the only ones that feel the way that we do, because we're not really seeing anybody else. And in my job, I'm speaking to people every day who are struggling with all sorts of different emotional difficulties and mental health problems, and people from all different backgrounds, whether they've had pre-existing problems or not. And so this morning, I and us as a church want to say to each other that it's okay and that this shall pass. And in particular, I was thinking about the word security, and I think most of us will be experiencing some loss of security at this time. That might be financial, worrying about our jobs and income, or food security. It might be social security that we have with the loss of isolation from family and from friends. It might be a problem with mental health, struggling with anxiety and fear. It might be problems with our family security, working from home, managing children and homeschooling, and also trying to manage our children's emotions at the same time too. Or it might be to do with our health and a worry about our own health and the implications that COVID might have on that, and a lack of other medical intervention at the moment. So if you combine all of these things with the boredom that we feel, the resentment, fear and grief, it's no wonder that all of us are struggling at some point just now. So what can you do? So a really helpful tip that one of my mental health nurses at work has talked about is something called STOP. And if you think about the letters STOPP for it. So what can you do if it comes a time when you're feeling overwhelmed, where you're struggling, where you're feeling anxious? Then if you remember this and you remember to stop. So the first S is literally to stop. The T stands for take a breath. So notice your breathing, try and slow your breathing down, breathe in and out slowly. The O is observe, and just observe, what are you feeling at that time? What's your focus of your attention then? The P is then just to pull back and to get some perspective. What's the bigger picture? We sometimes talk about this helicopter view. What's going on? Take yourself out of the situation and look at it perhaps a bit more rationally. And the second P is to practice what works, or to proceed. Where can you focus your attention at that time? What's the best thing for you to do in that moment? And this is done in a secular sense, but I also felt that it's really important for us as a church community and people of faith to then put Jesus into the mix. And so we want you to stop, to take a breath, to observe, but then to get some perspective from Jesus. What's his bigger picture? And then the second P being practice what works. And actually we know that prayer works, and so to practice prayer. And so what can we do as a community? As a church community, we're here for each other. And I simply want to say that if you have a need in any of these areas mentioned, we talked about financial, social, mental, family, health problems, then please let us know. And we can only help if we know what to do. And 1 Peter 5:7 says, cast all your anxiety on him because he cares for you.